What's up, everybody? This your girl K Marie with the Hype Me Up K Marie podcast. I want everybody right now to go ahead and share this broadcast, tag somebody in it, and let's get this thing started. So while I am going ahead on and sharing this on my platform, I'm gonna let y'all listen to some tunes while we are getting it crack-a-lecking. While you are tuning in, please let me know where you are tuning in from. Throw some hearts up. Tell me what city and state. You are tuning in from right now, making sure I'm connected on all platforms. Because I don't want nothing left behind. Okay. Okay. Also, let me know if you can hear me. What's up, everybody? Good evening, and welcome to the Hype Me Up K Marie podcast. Listen, I've taken my time to go ahead and share this broadcast. I hope you did the same on your end because we about to get this thing started. I have an amazing guest on here tonight. We met a few months back. I've been seeing what he's been doing, and I'm very inspired about what he has going on about his new film. And I'll get into that a little later. But first things first, how y'all doing? Good evening. Welcome to the podcast. Before you do anything, I want to make sure that you are following me on all platforms on YouTube because I'm really trying to build a YouTube page up. And that's Hype Me Up K Marie on YouTube. And also make sure you're in my group on Facebook, Hype Me Up Promotions. This is a platform for entrepreneurs, entertainers, whoever you are with the business, to go on there, share your business so you can connect, collaborate, and grow and see who you can partner with, and also support other individuals with businesses. I want to give y'all a quick recap of my weekend. I had a really busy weekend. How y'all doing? I see y'all coming on in. Make sure y'all make yourself be known. Go ahead and let me know in the chat that you are tuned in live from wherever you are. Let me see here. Don't let me start calling your name. I see you watching, but I would love for y'all to interact with us. I want this podcast to be more of an interactive thing. I want y'all to make sure y'all have those questions on lock so that when my guests start speaking, if there's anything that you want to know, that you need to know about the industry that any of my guests are in, make sure you ask those questions in the comment section so that we can answer them on live. What's going on, Reginald? How you doing? Donel, how you doing? I see y'all coming on in slowly. Go ahead and make sure y'all share this broadcast for me. That'll be amazing. Amazing. So y'all, let me tell y'all about this weekend I had. Now I was gonna put up graphics and all that. Y'all know how I like to have my stuff together. But it's been so busy, I hadn't even gotten around to doing half of the things that I want to do. But that won't stop no show. I'm definitely going to tell y'all all about it. So on Friday, for those that don't know, I partnered with the West Side ATL Comedy. We are doing Third Fridays comedy series at Sunrise Event Lounge. That's in Austell, Georgia, on Maxim. So every third Friday is going down. But not only are we having the comedy show there, but I've also partnered with Sunrise Event and Lounge Space, which is an upscale lounge environment. It's not your typical club because guess what? Whatever you have going on, you can book this event to support your vision. So even if you're a podcaster, if you have a line dance class, or if you're looking to throw your birthday party, or listen, you can even do a wedding in there. I mean, you might turn up a little bit. You the reception right there in the same spot. So why not? But big things are happening over on the west side of Atlanta, and I'm just super excited to be a part of it. This Friday we had an event hosted by Alicia Coley. Y'all make sure y'all go look her up, follow her on Instagram. That's Alicia Coley, comedian. She was like super hilarious, and that was our first one. We had a good turnout, but when I tell y'all the comedians worked that crowd like they was in a sold out arena, listen, they worked that crowd. Not only did Alicia do her thing, we also had comedian Erica Duchess. Baby, she is a fool. She walked around that thing. She was dancing and hopping and kicking and ha, and the laugh was hilarious. And then to close it out, we had Marvin Hunter. Marvin Hunter just ran up. He was so real, y'all. Y'all gotta. I'm gonna show y'all some clips a little later on just the amazing time that we had, but it was just awesome. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for the next third Friday in April. Then on Saturday, went to the Women Business Expo in Atlanta Station. As you all know, I partner with Pro Networker, where we do monthly events. This particular event was geared towards the ladies for Women's History Month, and it was a really great turnout, diversified crowd. The women were just excited to be in that space. The energy was on high, the empowerment was on point, and it was just an amazing experience to be around like-minded women growing their business, seeing how we can learn from one another, and just basically like providing positive energy, because you don't get that a lot. And so anytime you have an opportunity to connect with women in business, and you can grow together when you get to know each other, it's just a wonderful thing. Then on Saturday, I went to support the cast for The Last Words, y'all. It's out now. One episode is coming out on Tubi on April 1st, The Last Words. But my boy DeMarcus Jackson, he was on the podcast a few weeks back. My girl Marlene Proctor, she will be on the podcast in the near future. And my girl Ottawa, which was the makeup artist that we had on set of Company Time. So I definitely had to go out and support my people. They're doing big things. Super excited about that. But tonight, I brought you on here tonight for my special guest, Mr. Donel Fernandes. He is a filmmaker, and he didn't say this, but I'm going to call him a philanthropist, because I know the vision, and he shared a bit of his vision with me. And so, I call that an advocate. And y'all know my platform is for entertainers, entrepreneurs, authors, and advocates. I love people that advocate on behalf of their community. And so we're going to get into that a little bit, but let me go ahead and introduce the man of the hour. And I did have some drum rolls, but I guess I'm not going to bore y'all with the drum roll. I'll just do it myself. Anyway, here's all about him. And but right before I bring him on, so welcome, Mr. Donel. I'm sorry, Donel Fernandes. Donel Fernandez is a Caribbean creative currently residing in Atlanta, Georgia, that dabbles in the world of fashion and film. He just recently wrapped up his debut film titled Oxtail in Anime, which is aimed to raise awareness to heart, health, and emotional intelligence within the minority community. You can follow Fernandez World on IG or his fashion brand Favela Fashion LLC, which is a lifestyle brand that supports the Brazilian favela community. You can also follow Oxtail_anime to learn more about the film Oxtail in Anime. All right. So listen, before I let you introduce yourself and tell everybody about yourself, I want to make sure that I pronounce everything right because I'm like Favela. Did I pronounce that right?
Favela.
Favela. I knew it.
It's
I knew
okay.
it.
Nothing
Charge
wrong
it
with
to charge it to
nothing
my
wrong with
head and not my heart.
nothing wrong with putting a little Memphis on it.
Okay, it's Memphis on everything.
That's all right.
All right. So super excited to have you on here tonight. So glad that we connected. I know we first met in person at the premiere of Company Time, but we connect via Instagram before that. I'm always honored when someone reaches out to me, and because it shows that I'm visible and that my energy made an impact somewhere, whether it was on social media, whether it was in person. But it just makes me so happy when somebody just reaches out to me because I'm like, okay, you is somebody, okay. And have an amazing spirit. That was what I
Thank
was
you.
like attracted to when we met. I knew exactly who you were. I'm like, I know you. And so before I get to talking too much because go on and on, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers and just tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to be on your wonderful platform. I can also say that you have a wonderful spirit as well, because when we met at the at the debut of Company Time, I was following you, and then when I saw you in person, I was like, "That's hype me up, K Marie. Let me go ahead and converse with her." So thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your platform. Yeah, like you said, my name is Donel Fernandes. I've been in Atlanta about 4 years now, and this is really my first time really dabbling in the world of entertainment. I've had my clothing brand, Favela Fashion, since 2023, and it's the brainchild of myself. When I lived in Brazil, um, I had just garnered an affinity to the people of the favela communities. For people that don't know, those are the underserved communities of Brazil. And I had heard so much like, oh, it's very dangerous there, don't go, just mainly negative things. But I was awarded the opportunity to work at a school slash orphanage that housed the children of the favela communities. And man, when I say that the people were so nice. The kids were so nice, so sweet, and a lot of them were just looking for opportunity. And I was able to, raise about $500 US my first time there to donate some toys for Christmas, some hygiene goods, and just other things to just help them flourish within their community.
Oh, see, I think for me, that's the most selfless act. To go. Now, you weren't originally born in Brazil, were you?
No, no, no. So I
Okay.
decided to, it's a crazy story of how I even got to Brazil, but I'll make it as short as possible. I graduated college from New York, a school called Monroe College, and I had actually applied to NYU to study international business. At that time, the Brazilian economy was booming, so that was actually my interest, was to study the economy of Brazil and things like that. Unfortunately, I didn't get into the school, but when I got my denial email, I was literally at my day job with one of my friends from Brazil, and I'm just there crushed, like, man, I didn't get into grad school, I'm a loser. And she was just like,
Oh.
don't worry, just go to my mom's college in Brazil. And I'm like, what? And yeah, literally, that was the end of August. We continued to have conversations about it. And in October, I packed up all my stuff, quit my job, and moved to Brazil and was attending school, Colegio Conde Domingos in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. See, those are the type of stories I like to hear because that just shows, number one, that shows courage and bravery. Like just stepping out on faith and trusting the process and just knowing that, you know, it's going to work itself out, and also being obedient when God like aligns you with a situation, and he's giving you everything that you need.
yeah.
Take it and don't be skeptical and leaning in on the doubt and the what ifs and all of that. And so how old were you when you decided to bust that move?
23. I was 23 years
23.
old. Didn't speak a lick of Portuguese. Um, I had heard that through the grapevine, my grandfather was Brazilian, but that was
Uh-huh.
never really confirmed. So I don't know. I just always kind of had an affinity towards Brazil. I was always a big Brazilian sports fan for soccer. And like you said, the opportunity came about. People thought that I was crazy. I literally just gotten a promotion at my job as well. And I
Wow.
was just like, hey, man, this opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. And I went out there.
Listen, I think that's amazing because you probably experienced something that made you appreciate life more. Like when you
Absolutely.
go to certain areas and you see it, the things that we complain about in America,
Absolutely.
and we complain about this to them, our issues are like this.
Minuscule, so minuscule. And that's so funny that you say that, because um that's always my biggest takeaway whenever I go back. I've been back probably about 5 times since I was living there. Uh, but yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, there's definitely places of affluence that are very beautiful within Brazil. And for anybody that's listening, I definitely suggest for you guys to visit. But there are definitely places that, are underdeveloped, and you'll just see. My biggest takeaway was just seeing the children. The children were children. They were out playing in the streets, just having a good
Mhm.
time. They weren't bogged down by their phones or games or PlayStations. They were just out, just free spirited and just happy with life.
Listen, and uh and, and not just in Brazil, a lot of like foreign countries,
Absolutely.
you go, people visit, and they have some beautiful parts,
Mhm.
but there's also the poverty stricken parts that inspire you the most. And a lot of people always wonder, why do people in the USA support the missions, in other countries, and like they don't do it for us. But when you see how they live and the resources that they, have at their reach, they don't have the same type of resources that we have to support those communities like that.
Absolutely.
So I want to get in your business a bit. So,
Let's do it.
when did you first get into filmmaking? Like, when did you decide, what, I want to start? I don't know if you on the writing side or you're just a visionary and you gave it to somebody else to write the vision for you and make it clear. Like, when did you start and how did you start?
So I first garnered a interest is when during the pandemic, honestly, we at my hotel that I was managing at the time, we had taken in a production called Johnson.
Mhm.
And it's a great show. It's on season 4, if I'm not mistaken. You can find it on Hulu and the Brown Sugar app. And
Mhm.
that was my first time actually seeing a whole team for a production. And they were all Black. They were so professional, from the EP, Miss Risha Archibald, to the writer, the lead actor, Deji LeRae, to all the main cast. They were just so, so cool. So I was just like, man, I was having conversations with them, and I was like, man, this is actually really cool. And we had just certain similarities that we were speaking of. And then, so fast forward, I got the opportunity to go to set, just to PA and just see different things. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And it was just so amazing that it was all Black run. It was Black led. Everything was amazing. So fast forward 2023, um, I experienced something that was rather traumatic, and I was just like, man, I really don't know how to deal with this. So I just really secluded myself for about 3 weeks and just started writing. And that was, in looking back at it, actually very therapeutic. And so once I finished writing the piece, I really didn't know what to do with it, because, again, this was my first time ever doing it. I was scared to share it with people because I just didn't know if it was going to be terrible or not. And yeah, fast forward, I ended up mustering up the courage to actually share it with people, and we have a production now.
Okay. I love that. And most writers just get, it's like an epiphany comes over you, and it's like, okay, you know what? Excuse my language, the hell with it. It's time for me to put this on paper. Like, I'm
Really,
holding out. And I am a firm believer that when you have a really great idea and you don't literally do nothing with it or act on it, and you look up and you see somebody else pretty much duplicate that idea,
you will kick yourself.
you
You will
will
kick
beat
yourself.
yourself up. Because I've
Yes,
done that a time or two in my life where, I had I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Then I look up and I don't let a whole year go by and five people done did it. Now I'm discouraged and like, it's not gonna even matter,
yep.
which that's not the right spirit. So let me correct myself for those that are listening. It don't matter. You can ride down the street, you're gonna pass 15 different gas stations, 15 different food shops before you get to the one you want to go to. So it's all about what you bring to it. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea about that, but I'm just speaking my truth.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just to further speak on that, it's never too late. Like, I was 31 when I wrote my first 31 when I wrote my first project, which is Oxtail and Anime. And I know people that have been writing since high school, that have been writing since college, and they're a little bit more advanced in their career, but it's honestly never too late. You have to start somewhere. And why not? Why not make it today? If you have
Right.
a dream, make it today and just see it through.
Right. So now I'm gonna dig a little more into your business. I always like to get on certain, certain, because people want to know. People want to
Yeah, of
know.
course.
Um, I think I've already asked you this, but you don't have any children right now, right?
No.
And do you want children?
In the future, yes.
So, what's your goal towards like that family dynamic? Because I know as you're growing and you're building, and some people be like, I want to wait till I get established. I want this, that, and that before I lock in. So, what does that part look like into where you're in your life right now?
Wow. Great question. I'm not gonna lie, you threw me off with that one. A big part of it is just being having a certain amount of money saved up
Uh-huh.
to having a certain amount of money saved up to go strictly toward the care for who my partner would be at that time, hopefully my wife,
Hmm.
for her care during the pregnancy, before the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, and after the pregnancy. Just from doing my research and things like that, I know that Black and minority women are at a higher risk for complications with their pregnancies. So I want to make sure that I have the most amount of money saved up so I could provide the best care that I can afford. So whether that's flying in a midwife or a doula from Ghana or from somewhere else, like just to make sure that my partner is all the way good.
I respect that, and I think a lot of men that are in their 30s that have not, fathered a child yet, kind of have that same mindset of, just want to make sure that they're in the best position possible. But I honestly don't think that I guess it depends on the situation, because if you had a baby 6 years ago, that would have probably still made you go a little harder to be in position to do what you needed to do. So sometimes, bringing a child in the world or planning a child with your significant other that whom you would hope to plan to marry, or already
Mhm.
be married, you're already thinking about what it's going to take to maintain that relationship or to build that foundation. So, kudos to you for just having that mindset to say, you know, I don't want to bring a child in this world until I'm locked in, until I'm secure, until I'm able to provide and
Mhm.
protect. And while you're working on things that you dream of, you want to be able to commit and devote your time to building a family as well. So I definitely understand that part. So, with that being said, do you have yourself on like a timeline, or like what is your dating life looking like?
There's no timeline for sure. I mean, honestly, if you would have asked me this high school, Don, I couldn't have imagined myself not having a kid by now. I always told myself, like, yeah, I'm gonna be the young fly dad that's picking up his daughter from high school, that's picking up his daughter from school and all this stuff. But yeah, as things, as you live life, you just realize that, wow, it hasn't happened yet. There's really no rush, honestly, in this political climate to bring a child in
Right.
right now. So, I'm weighing my options, and yeah, when the time is right, the time will be right.
That's right. That's right. Weigh your options and be careful and know your worth. And not only that, like I think it's very important when you get like over your 30s
Hmm.
to know that compatibility is important,
Oh, absolutely.
and finding somebody that can balance you out, in all things, because we talking about being whole with somebody. Like, I'm sure you're a pretty busy man. I know I've spoken with you a couple times. You're like, oh, I got to go out of town with my job. I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah, so you definitely have to find somebody that can understand what that life looks like. And so, and then it's a lot of things to consider when you're talking about growing a family. So I
Hmm.
ain't gonna say take your time, but don't take too much time, and then you're gonna be the old granddaddy, and everybody gonna be like, "Oh, your granddaddy picking you up." Oh no, that's my daddy.
Luckily, I got the luckily, I'm not trying to brag, but I'll say the genes are pretty good on this side. So
Go ahead on.
I think
Listen,
I'll still be looking
it's
30, probably 20 years from now.
I know that's right. It's okay to brag. That's what I'm talking about. I believe that. I believe in you in that.
Thank you.
So I,
Thank
I
you.
know there's not going to be a problem. So what has been like one of your biggest challenges, just on this journey of being a filmmaker? Like, what has been like one of the biggest obstacles, or has it been easy breezy?
No, man, it definitely hasn't been. So I say I'm right in the middle. It's not as hard as I thought it would be, and from stories I've heard from other people. But it definitely hasn't been easy breezy. I feel like I definitely benefited from having people around me that were in the film industry thought I was able to see that just did things that were just wildly inefficient. So I was just able to say, like, okay, cool. If I ever do this, I'll never do that.
Right.
And I will say, you know, they did do some good things as well. So I was able just to learn from my peers. And definitely hasn't been easy breezy because sometimes it is hard, you know, to just find inspiration. You know,
Right.
while I was secluded for those 3 days, it always wasn't the easiest to just continue to write or go back. And I'm actually writing a feature currently that I'm 98% done with. And I've probably been writing that. I started writing that actually before Oxtail and Anime. So, you know, you go back, you scrap it, you start again. There's things that that you just at that time you thought were relevant. Now it's been 3 years, they're not relevant anymore. So you have to change it up. So it's really just being kind to yourself in the
Okay.
process, knowing that it is a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And
Right.
just see it through. If you put yourself in the position to win, there definitely will be some obstacles, but there's nothing better than seeing the end of the journey and just being like, wow, you know, I did it.
Right, right. That's awesome. So what has been your biggest inspiration, or who has been your biggest inspiration? That literally, if you could say that, okay, it's this person right here, or thinking about this, this individual, it made me want to go harder. It made me really want to pursue this. It can be family, friend, or somebody, a celebrity that has always inspired you.
Wow. I'll probably definitely say my grandparents, just because, man, like just their story is amazing. Unfortunately, my grandpa passed before I even embarked on this journey, but my grandma, I was really, really going hard to try to get this wrapped before she passed, and unfortunately, she passed last April.
Oh
But
no.
she had a oh no, she had a wonderful life. She was 94.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and that was I really really wanted her to be able to see the finished product, so that was definitely an inspiration to, you know, keep going, keep going, keep going. Um, Unfortunately, like I said, she wasn't able to see the finished product, but the purpose of the film is to raise awareness on heart health and emotional intelligence within the minority community. And her being a nurse, she was a retired nurse, she would always tell us as we were kids, like, you know, you have to watch your diet, you have to make sure you're eating this and eating that and staying away from that.
Hmm.
So she probably not even knowing, there were a lot of those conversations that I tapped back into when I was writing this film, of like, of just thinking back to, you know, all the wisdom that she imparted on me.
That's awesome. I love that. And I think a lot of people. I've had quite a few people who's I've had a conversation with, and they've named their grandparents. Um, Typically because you that generation, it was a little harder for them to pursue, and so that's why we have so many legends out here that we all know, because it was like, those opportunities were rare in that generation. Like, so like if you say your grandma is like 94, so they had like the Sidney Poitiers and those and Cicely Tyson, but you seen those faces in so many different projects for people of color. And so I'm sure they're smiling and just super proud of you for just like taking a leap of faith, not just that, but like going to Brazil and advocating for something that you believe in. I think that they are definitely smiling. And I know you said it's cool they lived a great life, but still my condolences.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely
um
appreciate that. And yeah, you're definitely right, because I'll never forget. You know, my parents are they ultimately did come around, but when I did tell them, like, hey mom, yeah, I'm gonna quit my job and move to Brazil, they definitely were looking at me like, what's going on with this one?
like,
But yeah,
quit
my
your job.
grandparents.
So now you finna
Yeah.
be asking us for $20 every.
Yeah. I mean, I was blessed, I was lucky enough to, I've always been rather good with saving money, and I've always just been a hustler. So even though I had a scholarship to go to college to run track, I was always like had a little side job or was doing odd jobs. Um, so I was in a position to really, go out there and really not have to worry about it. And then on top of that, with my friend Katie, Cachucio Giagostino, love you, girl. She's the one who gave me the opportunity to go to Brazil. I was able to live in their place without paying a dime, go to their school without paying a dime. So I was just
That
really,
is a absolute
yeah,
blessing.
I was really lucky to just garner that relationship and it to materialize the way I did. But
That's
getting back, so I
amazing.
know I went off on a tangent, but my grandparents were definitely like, "Yeah, boy, go to Brazil. Why not? Like, just do it." And they were just so happy and hype. And when I was able to call via FaceTime and show them whether I was at a beach or a cathedral or just in the favelas, like they were just so happy and supportive.
I know that's right. Go ahead. So going back to the film Oxtail and Anime, I do have the clip that I want to share so that we can just kind of elaborate on it. I know you said that the film is geared around was did you say heart?
Yeah, it's to raise the purpose of it is to raise awareness on heart health and emotional
Okay,
intelligence within the minority community.
okay,
Heart disease is something that plagues Black and Brown people, specifically Black people, at an alarming rate.
hmm,
And it has the stigma of the silent killer. And there's just so many contributing factors to that I saw within my family and I see within so many other families that I just wanted to, bring some light onto it. And then emotional intelligence, I still feel like it's rather taboo for Black men, especially, to really talk about therapy, talk about their
yes,
feelings, talk about, how a certain instance has, or sorry, how a certain event in their life has hampered their way of thinking or how they're still carrying that baggage.
yes, yes, indeed. So and we're gonna get after I play it, we're gonna
Okay,
talk about the name of it. Okay,
let's do
so
it.
I'm gonna go ahead and play this for everyone that's watching. And in the comment section, I want y'all to give y'all opinion on it. Does it look like it's something you ready to see the whole film? Just let us know. But it is a short film. Really nice concept. The cinematography is amazing on it. I just wanted to tell you that because I was watching the clip earlier myself, and I'm like, listen, they did that. But I'm gonna go ahead and
Shout
show
out
it.
Dope Fletch. Shout out Dope
Oh,
Fletch on Instagram. Follow him.
Dope Fletch,
Yes.
Dope Fletch on Instagram on that camera work, baby.
Morning, Jayla Bud. Here you go. It's your favorite.
Thank you, babe.
Don't work yourself too hard today, okay?
Magnetic pulling off disguise.
Now I know we're supposed to go to my mom's, but how about we stay here?
Walked in.
I would love that, babe. Here you are, Mr. G. I call it the wake-up call.
Thank you so much, Jayla. I'll let you know if it does a trick.
Trust me, you'll love it just like you will the rest of your day.
Jayla! What the hell happened?
Every time I come here, you're always closed. You know the customer's always right.
Ma'am, closed, okay?
I've been waiting for you.
Listen, I literally wanted to cry and didn't even know what was going on. The actors they did so well that they projected that emotion to make you understand that something is happening in those moments. And that was just like the smallest clip ever with such a huge impact. So I just want to let you know that my little crybaby self over here, like, I need to I need to see more of this. So let's start with the oxtail and anime with the name of the movie. How did you come up with oxtail and anime?
So I wanted to blend Caribbean culture in it because I'm a product of Caribbean parents, as well as anime because it is based off true events, and the person in which, as well as just my creative side, just wanted to, blend those two things, as well as that's what the person was interested in, as well as myself. And yeah, I just feel like it's a catchy name as well.
It is a catchy name. So I'm thinking like when you say oxtail and anime, like okay, oxtails, that's like a big Jamaican thing. Like people love, Jamaican food
Mhm.
and oxtails. And then the anime, I know that's a thing as well. So how in the world did oxtail and anime come together? Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm like I said, I'm Jamaican. The lead actress, Shantae Henry, is Jamaican as well. And like you said, it doesn't matter if you're Jamaican, if you're African American, if you're African, almost everybody loves oxtail, even
okay.
Hispanic. And then anime is just a genre of film and TV that's just really been blowing up, and especially within the minority community. There's a lot of celebrities that are pretty open about watching anime as well. And honestly, they have pretty good storylines
Yeah.
if you watch them. So, like I said, I thought that I can't even front and try to be all cinematic and all artistic. I was just like, hey, this sounds good. This
It,
sounds good.
and it did.
And
And so
there's a line in the project that says it, and I was just like, why not?
listen, I'm ready. So Yasmin is tuned in on YouTube. I see here. Yasmin, looking forward to watching this. You just had to include the sucking of the teeth.
Of course, to let you know it's authentically Caribbean.
So yeah, I'm definitely ready to see the completed project. I know that it's gonna be a huge. It's gonna. Let me switch gears a bit. So, is it to the point where you're entering into like film festivals? Are you? Is it at that point in production?
So you're actually about to get an exclusive. So we have entered into a number of film festivals, ABFF, American Black Film Festival, Orlando International Film Festival, the New Orleans International Film Festival, Bronze Lens Film Festival, and Los Angeles International Short Film Festival, in which we are an official selection for the monthly round. So we actually were in our first film festival, and we're still
Okay.
waiting. And we are up for we've been nominated for Best First Time Director and Best Ensemble. So
Go
we'll find out.
ahead.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Hype me up.
That's
Hype me up.
right.
I
So yeah,
love it.
we'll
I'm
find
so
out within the coming weeks if we won those awards. And then the
okay.
way that film festival works is on a ladder system. So you go from the monthly selection to the quarterly selection. And if you're selected as one of the best projects for the year, you get to go to the annual selection and be shown in Los Angeles.
Okay. So how did you with your casting, did you do a casting call or did you just kind of like select some people that you knew was going to embody the vision?
So the only person I hand selected was the main actress, Miss Shantae Henry, and that's because we had a relationship for 10 years plus. We both were going to college in New York, and we worked at the same restaurant in Times Square. And we just always been cool ever since then. She's Jamaican, she's from Florida. I was the same, so we just kind of kept a relationship. And when we happened to both be in Atlanta and she was pursuing film, I was like, hey man, I have a role that I would really like you to be a part of. And she said, no doubt. And she absolutely killed it.
She
For everybody,
did.
yes, yes. And for everybody else, I worked with an amazing casting director. Her name is Jessica Howard. It was, believe it or not, her first time casting a full film. And I will say I was very blessed to have the connections such as like Shantae, such as my DP Dope Fletch, Fletch Power, because we all went to me and Fletch went to school. We've been knowing each other since middle school, and he's been doing this thing in California. But a lot of the other people that were on board, Jessica, a lot of the actors and actresses, a lot of the camera people, this was their first project. And I've just always been very intentional about, hey, I want to give you the opportunity. If you're showing that you're serious and dedicated, I'm going to give you the opportunity, and we'll lock in. So while I did have a good amount of some young vets on the team, I did have some newcomers like myself on the project, and
Okay.
hopefully this elevates them in their careers.
Okay. Well, they from that clip, everyone that I saw look to have done an amazing job. And you filmed right here in Atlanta, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So how long did that process take?
So it took, so initially it was a 2-day shoot. We shot at the end of 2023. And like I said, me being a first time director, I was just really gun ho, like, bet we're going to shoot, we're going to have it edited by February. We'll be in film festivals, da, 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 da. After we looked back at the footage, we quickly saw that there were some scenes that we didn't get. So we had to do a pickup shoot. So it took to get everything done probably about 13 months.
Okay. Okay. That's a fair time. Not trying to rush it to make sure that the finished product is something that everyone is pleased with. So how long is the film?
17 minutes and 22 seconds.
Okay. Okay.
So it's an easy watch, whether you just get home from work and just wanna relax and watch something quick, whether you're on a flight, whether you're on your lunch break, is definitely easy to consume.
Okay, that's what's up. So, I know you mentioned earlier that you were working on some things, and I know you can tell us if you want to, but if you want to just give us a little hint or a little sneak tease peek, like what you're working on, how soon is that going to be something that you make public, and like just give us a little bit, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
so honestly, I'm doing a lot. I've started writing a continuation of Oxtail and Anime. I'm still kind of up in the air as to if I'll make it an episodic series or just make it a full feature.
Mm-hmm.
Still, open to feedback from other industry professionals. Like I said, I am writing a feature, that my first feature film that I'm looking to, start making some headway on. So we'll start doing some character reads and things like that for sure. And then I'm really locked in. I'm going to be relaunching some items from my clothing line for Favela Fashion. So be on the lookout for that. Have some new designs coming out probably around May. And yeah, just really stay tuned in to the social media. There's some things I can't say as of yet, as we're still working on the background, but
Mm-hmm.
potentially to be in some stores. And lastly, working with my friend Fletch Power, my DP, he's going to be shooting a documentary on the island of Grenada, and the Grenadian culture over there. So look forward to locking in with him at the end of the summertime.
Oh wow. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope. I love that you're international. Let's just say it. I love that you're international because
Thank
that
you.
that that reaches new lengths, some people are worried about like right here what's in front of them, but like the bigger picture is definitely great to be connected to all of those different influences, because it helps you grow and it helps you like set apart because you can understand things from different perspectives. So kudos to you. And
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to see how you're gonna spin off from this oxtail and anime because um my opinion, if you ain't asked for my 2 cent, but since we
I'm always
here,
here for it. I'm always
since,
here for it.
since we here, I think like with a short film, 17 minutes, I think that like it's such a huge impact in that short amount of time. Like it would be nice to see another situation, and just showing how people handle things, whether it doesn't necessarily have to have a sad ending, or because I don't know how oxtail and anime ends, but I could definitely see how they're like shorts, what is it? What do they call them? Prequels, or see, tell me something, because I ain't on that side of it yet.
Yeah.
But so not just heart health, but other things that people deal with, the other silent killers that we have, you know, to people that have like something that's like, I'm not gonna say it's small because it's not a small thing, but people that deal with blood pressure and literally ignore it, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And I'm one of those people that ignores it. And every time I go to the doctor, my doctor is like fussing at me. Like they even gave me a worksheet that I'm supposed to be completing and checking my blood pressure on the daily that I'm not doing. But because to me, I feel fine. But everybody's always talking about, okay, you're at stroke level. Like, what are you doing in your life that's just causing your blood pressure to rise like that? And so I think that if you had several many experiences, I think that would be dope because people need to see that in real life. They need to see themselves. They need to see, their family. They need to see their loved ones and how to deal with certain situations because it does lead to mental health issues where because people that are grieving, like there's a lot. So I think what you're doing in the direction that you're going in, I think is, just awesome. And I would love to see more projects where you're raising awareness to these different silent killers that we don't necessarily talk about.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And I actually spoke about this in a previous conversation that I want to really be intentional about the art that I create, especially in the Black cinema space, because I feel like far too often the stuff that is greenlit is just puts a negative light on our community without even bringing attention to what we actually need to bring attention to. So like we've seen all of the dope boy drug domestic violence, all that type of stuff in our cinema space. So now it's time to bring out stuff that will actually benefit us and help us live a longer, happier, healthier life. So
Right.
yeah, I'm very intentional about bringing that, as well as just bringing about informational pieces that people may not know. Just going back
Right.
to my the project that my friend Joshua Fletcher is doing, Fletch Power, is called Call of the Jab, and it's just about Grenadian culture and just the folklore that happens within Grenada. And so many people, will look at Carnival and stuff like that and just see the turn up, but there's so much history that goes back into it. So that will be
Right.
shown on this project that we're working on, and yeah, and for the projects that I look forward to doing in the future.
I would like to like outside of this podcast, I would like to shoot you something. So
Yeah, please.
I am an author, so I do have a writer's gift. I haven't like dabbled in that space in the film industry, but I definitely have a creative mind. And so one day I literally was just like had this thought in my head, and I wrote a full script, like and it could be a short film or a long movie or a series or whatever, because that is it's just that it's just that impactful. And
Mm.
so I ain't gonna get into it. Like you said, you can't say too much and do too much, because you don't want to say something prematurely, and you,
Yeah.
and you don't want nobody praying against what you're trying to do. And it takes time. It takes time to develop these things. Like you said, y'all shot this in 2023 and it's 2025 now. And so it takes time, and people don't understand what that looks like. It's not, you can't just get out here and half ass and think that you're gonna get the results that you want in anything that you do. So
Yeah.
I would
Big,
love to
big.
just shoot you that.
Yes, and I love that you say that, because that was one of my biggest things, because I've been lucky enough to garner the relationships with Ashante Henry, a Emmanuel, who was my EP, who Fletch Power. They're well into their careers in this, so I knew that I couldn't show up half stepping, because it would ultimately be a waste of their time, and their names are on the line. So
Right.
anything that you do, you have to just come with your A game, because it's not only, first of all, it's your name, so you should always want to put your best product forward when it's attached to you. But when you're also intertwining others within the industry, you got to make sure that you're putting 120%. And just
Most
don't give up.
definitely.
Don't give
That
up. Use
part.
your resources.
That
Use me as a
part.
resource. Use K Marie. Like, I will. And if
Yes.
I don't, yeah, if I don't know the answer, I will do my best to figure it out. And I'll also be honest and tell you, hey, I don't know that, but I'll put you in contact with somebody
With
who
somebody
gets it.
else that I tell people that all the time. I tell them that in my business, like, hey, if I don't know, if I don't have the answer, if I don't have a solution, trust and believe that I'm going to do my best to connect you with somebody else that
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
Uh, before I lead you, before the blind be leading the blind.
absolutely.
So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, as well as support the clothing brand.
Yeah, so once more, thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity. My Instagram is scrolling at the bottom, but feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. That's Fernandes, FERNANDES_world. That's my personal Instagram. On that Instagram, you'll see the pages for Favela Fashion LLC and Oxtail and Anime. You can also go to the website www.favelafashionllc.com to see all of my merchandise on there. You can get a great shirt, a unisex shirt like this. We have hats, we have sweatsuits. And yeah, just know that a proceed of every purchase is donated to a different favela community each year. On my Instagram of Favela Fashion LLC, you'll see all the different gift bags that we've given. That we've donated back, and you'll just see the sweetest kids smiling with the goods that we were able to provide them. But definitely look forward to connecting with you guys. Thank you for listening to me in my raspy voice. Sorry, these allergies are killing me, but I appreciate it and look forward to talking to you more.
Yes, for sure. So y'all make sure y'all go on Instagram to Favela Fashion. Favela, I said that right that time. Because I'm talking about Favela. But anyway, go on Instagram, follow Favela Fashion LLC, and support this cause. Listen, I don't know what the prices are of the shirt, but anytime that there's a portion that goes back to a community, it's a good cause. Like, why not? We waste a lot of money on eating out and enjoying a lot of the inspired foods from these different countries. Why
Right.
not put some money into supporting their communities and giving back? So I definitely appreciate you coming on here, telling us all about what you have going on, and not only that, for sharing a lot of like this inspiration. You've dropped a lot of nuggets in between where that I didn't have to even ask you to say. If you got any last words, you got anybody? No, you've been just very forthcoming, and with the motivation, and just you know one of the biggest things that I've heard you say a couple of times is never giving up. And I don't care how many times somebody hears that. You need to hear it every day because life be life, and it's easier to give up than to keep pushing. And so, you have to keep that as a reminder to never give up and then keep on keeping on no matter, what it looks like. You don't know what's on the other side of it. So why not just push through? Because it's going to be another obstacle next week, the week after that, next year. You never know. So give it all when you wake up in the morning. Think yourself happy and go before the day with a good spirit, and not, in a negative with a negative mindset, so you can go out and be great. So definitely appreciate you bringing all your good energy on Hype Me Okay Marita podcast. I hope I hope you enjoyed your time on here tonight. Definitely make sure you share this link. It's on YouTube, streaming live right now, which is how we were able to see the young lady. Shout out to her for giving you that opportunity in Brazil, and that's amazing to meet people that can and I because I had a similar situation when I moved to Atlanta. I met somebody in an organization that I came down here and I just visited, coming to a brunch. I'm like, I'm gonna be around more women that can inspire me and they can, pour into me. And met a lady named Kelly A. Barnes. We're locked in. That's my sister now, but she didn't know me from a can of paint. And we just connected. She like, you know what? I want you to be a leader on my organization called the CEO District. I like the way you move. I like the way you operate. I'm like, okay, cool. And then this was back in 2020, the year of the pandemic. And so in 2022, I decided, I'm like, either I'm going to move to Nashville, I'm going to move to Atlanta. I don't know. Or do I want to go, deeper down south? But I don't know anybody down south. And you know what she said? She said, well, if you decide to come to Atlanta, I got a room for you. And so I came and stayed there a month before I was, able to find somewhere. And so it's a blessing for to be aligned with people that see the good in you as a person and open up their doors to give you an opportunity to be great. And so not too often people don't do that for people that they don't trust and and, and don't see the good in. So that speaks a lot about who you are and your character as a person. So looking forward to seeing your climb and just happy to be a part of that circle. I'm definitely going to continue to support you and wish you well, and hopefully find ourselves working together in the near future on some things. So
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. And thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity, for your wonderful platform, for you just always speaking wisdom over me as well. Every time we are in the same space, it's always a positive conversation with positive vibrations. So I definitely appreciate you. Look forward to, like I said, working with you, and look forward to sharing more information about the distribution of the project and how your wonderful followers can actually watch it.
yes, most definitely. So do you have anything that you want to say before we get off here?
Man, just want to say thank you. Thank you to, like I said, yourself, but thank you to my team. Thank you to those that just believed in my dream, from my parents to, like I said, Shantae, Fletch, E-Man, Jess, because they were just amazing at all twists and turns of this of this thing, from rehearsals to actually being on set to getting things together. It just really shows, like you said, if you're a good person, which I believe I am, good things will come on to you. And yeah, I couldn't have I couldn't have thought to have a better team. And even the people that came onto the project later, like our editor Aiko Fairchild, we ended up switching editors, and she came on. She was the last part of the team, and she was just so responsive and so patient, and just was a key factor into making sure this project got done and shows the way it does.
All right. Well, shout out to the whole crew because y'all did y'all thing on Oxtail and Anime. And thank you again for joining me on tonight. Now you can stay on if you want, but of course I gotta do a few more shout outs. But just want to tell you have a nice evening and I
Thank
definitely
you.
enjoyed this interview. I'll be sending you the link for you to use in the future, or you can definitely go on YouTube to hype me up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Right.
I, I sincerely enjoyed myself as well, and
We
thank you
break.
again.
Look, we made. All right. All right, y'all. So before we get off here, I want to let you know that we are wrapping up on the first season of Company Time. Last week was the 10th episode. Make sure y'all go to His Film so you can go ahead and just enjoy the full like from episode 1 through 10 so you can understand it. If you have watched the so it's almost my time. I guess that's StreamYard telling me it's time to go. But make sure you go and follow Company Time on Instagram so you can hear about what's coming next with that. Also, make sure you are following All I Need on Instagram. I am the production manager on this particular project. Can't go into detail, but it's a story about an inspiring singer who is faced with choices that can either break or take her to the top. So just think about Empire and this just different scenarios just to give you an idea of where we're going with All I Need. Definitely make sure you are staying on the lookout for that. Also, super excited about Slimeville. Slimeville is an animated adult series. Slimeville, The Adventures of Ash and Chap. It's a comedic adult cartoon that is on the way. But until it comes out, y'all know I have to play this song because this is my bop now. This is my bop. This is what I listen to in my leisure time. My kids have created a dance to the song, so when I record them, y'all gonna see and y'all get a chance to bop with me. But I just want to go ahead and play this clip real quick because it always gets me going.
Slimeville slide, the Slimeville slide, the Slimeville slide, the Slimeville slide. Slide to the left, now slide to the right. Slide to the left, now slide to the right. Slide to the left, now slide to the right. Slide like a snail, what's the Slimeville slide? It's the Slimeville slide, the Slimeville slide. Slide like a snail, it's the Slimeville slide.
A snail, it's the Slimeville slide. Slide like a slide, like a slide, like a slide, like a slide, like a snail, it's the Slimeville slide. So y'all, I really be bopping to this song. I don't know what it is. It's a whole bop. I'll just camera, but I'm hoping you guys can still hear me. If you have not found your taxes yet and you're looking for the right professional, Spencer Tax Boutique is here to serve you, serving all U.S. states. I specialize in personal and business taxes. So if you are a small business owner, single member LLC, or sole proprietor, definitely get at me so I can help you, just make the best choices going forward in your tax preparation throughout the year, understanding your profit and loss, and how to itemize those things as you are preparing for the tax season. Of course, you guys know I have a media and marketing business, which is Hype Me Up K Marie. Hype Me Up K Marie, the podcast, is a part of the media portion, but there is also other legs to Hype Me Up K Marie. I do business startup, and that goes with branding, website and graphic design, event hosting, guest services at events. Of course, I'm an author, so I also do speaking events. I'm a content creator. And I work in the film industry. So I've worked as production manager, as marketing manager. And so I'm just excited about where I'm going in my career and those that have supported me through this journey. I'm super, super thankful for that. I want to get a shout out to one of my clients, Mr. Mark Pay. He is a celebrity pianist, music director, and artist and speaker. And he is available for booking. Like when I met him and I started to listen to his craft, I was just blown away because he definitely has a unique style. He's a storyteller. He's a professional. He's worked with people like Kelly Price, Loretta Devine, Michael Collier, and Tyler Perry. And so I'm just honored to be his business manager and just coordinating, his next steps as he is building his very own platform called Beethoven. So if you want to learn more about him, you can visit willmarkmediagroup.com to find out all about Mr. Mark Pay, aka Beethoven. And so with that being said, you guys, it is about that time and I'm going to check out for tonight. Thanks again for tuning in to Hype Me Up K Marie, the podcast. I hope you were entertained and inspired by the guests I had on here tonight. Again, I definitely appreciate Mr. Donel for taking his time out to join me on my podcast this Sunday evening. He could have been doing anything else, but he came to share his story with us. So thank you to Donel again for that. And thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, we are out, and I want y'all to have a hype good night. Make sure you are following me on all platforms.
Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in this.
Hype me up, K Marie. Hype me up. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Keisha Spencer, also known as K Marie, the Hype Me Up Queen, coming to you live with the Hype Me Up K Marie podcast. Now, this platform is for entrepreneurs, entertainers, and advocates to come on here and share their journey with the world so that they can help someone else out with their stories. Okay, so come on over to Hype Me Up K Marie podcast and let me hype you up. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Hype Me Up K Marie. Y'all, it's been real and I'm ready to hype you up.